Hello. What I really started this to talk about is I just signed up for Pottermore, and I know it's been like 4 years too late, but I was never really like hugely into the Harry Potter books to begin with. I guess this was more I guess I was more focused on the world than on the characters, and there's just so much character development, so much like I love Harry and Hermione and Ron and everyone else, but and Luna. I love Luna. But there's just so much of them, and I wanted to just know about the whole world in general. I don't really set out every time to read about the plot. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people feel that way. My whole childhood, I kind of thought that I was a Ravenclaw because I've always been very introverted and very wrapped up in my thoughts, so much so that it will prevent actions. It will prevent me from saying things or doing things. But I'm the girl that sits and instead of talking to someone while she's reading, she will pull out a book or pull out a notebook and think about things to write, or on lucky days I just have something that is so ponderable that I forget that I can interact with people, that I just get lost in the thought. And so I always thought I was a Ravenclaw, but it turns out that you have to be smart to be a Ravenclaw, but you can be smart and be something else. It's not a prevalent quality unless it's what your heart is set on. And so, I found my Pottermore result was a Slytherin. And at first I was a little upset, mostly because I don't want a common room underwater. I mean, I love water in the ocean, but it scares me. I don't like aquarium lighting. If I was a kid, I would hate to spend my whole time in there. I don't know, I was excited. I also don't really like the color green. But the more I looked into it, the more I kind of saw where I fit in. But there was so much I was looking at for Slytherin qualities, and half the time it was like, oh, they're ambitious and successful, and they are pureblood and cruel. Like, I get 2 words that actually help, and then 2 words that mean nothing to me, because I'm not cruel and I'm not a pureblood. That doesn't help me in the real world. And I found this blog that points out the difference between Slytherin and Ravenclaw from their perspective, and it really helps. It says that it's ravenclawpsychology.tumblr.com, and it says Ravenclaw and Slytherin are very much the same in that they are both perfectionistic in whichever field they pick, and very relentless when it comes to this. Sometimes they'll even roll over other people to get what they want. And that seems to be more of a Slytherin quality, but people forget that Ravenclaws will... You're taking a test, you see someone cheating, a Ravenclaw would straight then and there probably knock out that competitor because it's not fair to knowledge, and they want to know that if they know the most, it comes out that way. You know what I mean? They want to know that if they're top of the class, it's because they know the most. Whoever that is, whoever's the top of the class has to know the most, you know? But a Slytherin, I forgot what I was going to say. But they are both perfectionistic and relentless, and they will roll over people. But a Slytherin wants to succeed above all else. Wants to succeed above all else. It says they want to be the best They want to be the master of whatever subject or what have you. And I can see that. Like, to me, I don't do things unless I know I'm good at them. Like, I won't perform something unless I know I've got it down. I mean, I can pick things up pretty quickly, but like if I'm at work, I'm constantly taking notes of not what I've done wrong, but what I didn't do right. I have to get everything right. I have to be best, at what I've been given. And it says that Ravenclaws believe, so Slytherins believe that Slytherins want success above all else. Ravenclaws want knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to master things. So they don't necessarily care about having the best success or being the best at something so much as having the best understanding of an activity or the best knowledge of an activity. And I'm sometimes like that. Well, I'll look things up extensively. But it never satisfies me, Not so much as actually doing it and being good at it. Knowing the most is not satisfying for me. It is a habit that I have to break because it's just not helping me out, It says for another distinction, Slytherins, the task is never over until they are the acknowledged best. Ravenclaw, the task is never over until they know everything there is to know and have given their 2 cents on the matter. And then there's another distinction about Slytherins and Ravenclaws and their friendships or relationships. Slytherins, relating to friends, will accept those that are loyal to them, but they have a streak of egocentrism and selfishness, and they don't intentionally mean to use friends, but it may sometimes seem that way. I accept a lot of people, but I accept the ones from my past more, and I suppose that is a sense of loyalty. But sometimes I just can't handle them, and I think that's the egocentrism, selfishness. Sometimes I'll be talking to them online and I'll just pretend that I'm going to sleep or sign out because selfishly I don't want to talk to them. But I'm loyal to them. They're my friends. I'm not using them to pass the time until I have to go to sleep. It just seems that way. Ravenclaws hold friends second to their own intellectual pursuits, but can use them as an outlet to share their wisdom, as well as find a relief from relentless study. Now that seems kind of heartless. Ravenclaws treat friends second, and they're kind of a relief, like they're some kind of swimming pool. That they're not important. But it just seems, it sounds like Ravenclaws are very independent, and they don't need friends. They just go to friends when they want to share something, when they want to get their mind off of something. They don't need a friend there. And it doesn't really, I suppose, there's no criteria for friends except to be able to share things with them. Bounce ideas, maybe. But they're not crucial. And I feel like that a lot sometimes, but I really do like having friends. And the way that I treat them kind of patterns more with Slytherin, like loyal but selfish, more than my independence. So, those are the differences, and I hope this has helped someone. I know I rambled for a long time, but I know this is a common problem between Ravenclaws and Slytherins being sorted into the wrong house, and Ravenclaws being sorted into Hufflepuff, which is a great house. And J.K. Rowling actually answered an interview question about it, about how everyone should want to be a Hufflepuff, and I know I do. It's 3:20 in the morning, so good night.